Okay, so you know for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, you are the people of the Bible. I was doing a series called 2 Days. I got to part four. This right here is going to be part five because there's something I need to show you. Let's let's recap first. In Genesis 48, Jacob told Joseph's two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. He told the youngest son that he was going to be greater than his older brother, and through him would come a multitude of nations, translated also as a multitude of Gentiles. Hosea tells us that Ephraim will mix with the nation. He'll be like a cake unturned. What does that mean? It means he'll be, if you have a pancake, for example, the side that's down is dark on the bottom. The top side hadn't been flipped yet, is white. So you have people ranging from dark to light from in the Ephraim. And Ephraim was also interchangeable with Israel. Ephraim on that 12 tribes chart that I showed you are the Puerto Ricans. You can see Puerto Ricans that look like white people. Puerto Ricans that look as dark as me. He's a cake unturned. He'll be anything in between as far as color goes because he's mixed with the nations. All right. So we saw that Hosea 6:2 said, God, since we sin with all these other gods and fornicated, that he put us away. Hosea 6:2 says, let's get it real quick. Start at verse 1. Come and let us return unto the Lord. Why did he say return? Because he had put us away due to our idolatry, fornicating with other gods. Come, and let us return unto the Lord. For he hath torn, and he will heal us. He hath smitten, and he will bind us up. After 2 days he will revive us, and the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. So, 2 days. The 2 days, we went through the 2 days that he spent with the Samaritans, the woman at the well. We went through those 2 days. But before that, we showed how King Shalmaneser of Assyria came in, took the northern kingdom away, replaced them with people from 5 different cities. Those 5 different cities represent the 5 husbands that Christ told the woman that she's had. Though they have fornicated with the inhabitants of those 5 cities that the king brought in. Now, the remaining people who he didn't take away adopted their customs. So you got 5 different cities coming into the northern kingdom, into Samaria, and they're adopting the customs of those people. They never worshiped the true God the way he told them to from the time they got there. Check out Jeroboam, what he did as soon as they got into the land. They never worshiped the Most High in the manner that he told them to from the time they got there. And that's going to be important when I show you what I'm going to show you. So you got these 5 cities come in, and they're teaching, instead of Israel teaching them how to worship the Most High God, they're teaching Israel how to worship their gods. Okay? So, fast forward to the woman at the well. This is what Christ is telling her when he says, you don't even know who you worship. You know, they're having this conversation. Go back and look at my video. It's called 2 Days, Part 4, Explain. You have the woman who represents Israel of the northern kingdom. He's telling her, you have fornicated with so many gods, you don't even know who you worship him anymore. Yeah, you know of the Messiah that's coming, but you're so twisted. You know, y'all have been dealing with these other gods for so many years, you don't even know what you're worshiping. And if you don't understand, if you don't get the history on that, then you don't understand the woman at the well. Go back and look at those videos. He ends up staying there 2 days and teaching them the real worship, the spirit and the truth, that he is the Messiah. And he spends 2 days teaching them the history all the way up to him. And they end up believing because he stayed there with them 2 days. Now, fast forward. 2 Peter 3:8 says, a day with the Lord is like 1,000 years. Fast forward to this 2,000 years now. Go back to the prophecy in Hosea. It says, after 2 days, he will revive us. We're in the other part of the 2 days, the 2,000 years, 2 days. He's reviving us. I just showed you in the last couple of videos who you were. All that has been hidden all these years. We're waking up. We're realizing that we're the people. But I want to show you something else that I didn't get while we were going through 2 Kings. All right, let's start at 2 Kings. Let's get to the part where they were taken away. Then I'm going to show you something. We're going to hit that. We're going to jump to Revelation. I'm going to show you something you've never seen before. I guarantee you. All right. 2 Kings 17. Let's start at verse 22. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants and prophets. So was Israel carried away out of the land to Assyria unto this day. 24. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Cutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria, instead of the children of Israel. And they possessed Samaria, and dwelt in the cities thereof. All right. So now you see, since they sinned, God said, I'm tired of it. Get them out of here. King Shalmaneser comes in, takes them away to Assyria. Something I want to show you. I'll tell you what, let's go straight here. We want to go to this Bible right here. This Bible that we used to have with all this information in it. And we want to go to this section. Called the Apocrypha. Right here we got First Ezra. I don't want to jump to. Let me close this one. This one is tearing up. I want to go to Second Ezra. I want to get it. This is my paperback of the same thing. Don't like to open that book because you see what condition it's in. Let's go to Second Ezra. Okay, we're going to Second Ezra 13. And Esdras by the way, it's the same Ezra that's in your Holy Bible. Ezra are two more books that he wrote, 1st and 2nd Ezra, okay? So what's going on is he's been shown a vision, and he sees this large group of people, and he's asking the angel to interpret the dream, the vision that he saw. This is what he said. He's asking about this multitude, the same multitude. Hold on, before we get there, let's get this multitude out of the Bible. The same multitude that's in Revelation chapter 7. Revelation 7, verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hand, and cried with a loud voice, Salvation to the God which sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb. Now, let's see if we can find that same multitude in the Apocrypha. 2nd Ezra 13. And we're going to start at verse 39. This is the angel explaining the vision that he seen. Whereas thou sawest that he gathered another peaceable multitude unto him. Those were the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Osea the king, whom Salmanasar, the king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a farther country where never mankind dwelt, that they might keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. Entered into the Euphrates by the narrow places of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Arzarath. Arzarath. When you do a Google search of Arzarath, this is what you find. Now, when you Google Arzarath, you can find it spelled with a Z or with an S. The first definition that comes up is from the Jewish Encyclopedia, and it says, the name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses until the time of the restoration, according to 4th Ezra, also called 2nd Ezra. Goes on to say Columbus identified America with this land. So who are these people? They're your Native American Indians who were here when Christopher Columbus discovered America. Have you ever noticed, I don't know if you've seen the movie. Let me show you a clip. Watch this.
Why do you wish to sail west?
To open a new route to Asia. Asia is the richest kingdom, the land of spices and gold. At the moment, there are only 2 ways of reaching it. By sea, sailing around the African continent. The journey takes a year. Or by land. But the Turks have closed this route to all Christians. There is a 3rd way. By sailing west across the ocean sea.
The The distance is unknown. It's said to be infinite.
Superstition. I believe the Indies are no more than 750 leagues west of the Canary Islands.
How can you be so certain?
The calculations of Toscanelli, Marin de Tir, Esdras.
Esdras is a Jew.
So what's worse?
2 minutes, and already you're a dead man.
For telling the truth?
Yes. We are burning people for less.
Okay, just for clarity purposes, we read in 2nd Ezra where the northern kingdom, the top 10 tribes, entered into the Euphrates River at the narrow passages and entered into the sea. See, the Euphrates River dumps right into the Persian Gulf. And from the Persian Gulf, you can go right into the Arabic Sea. Into the Arabic Sea, right into the Indian Ocean. And you sail right around into the Americas, also known as Azarath. See, from the tip of South America all the way up to North America. These are where the tribes settled. These are the indigenous people that you read about that were in these areas. Now, what did Deuteronomy 28 say? You'd be called a byword. These are things that the Most High never called you. He called you Israelites, Hebrews, the tribe of Dan, Issachar, Simeon, Levi, Judah, and so on. You were never called Brazilian, Negro, African American, Indian, Guatemalan, Mexican. These are all bywords. So, in the movie, you see where Columbus, who was in Spain at the time, wanted to find a different route to Asia. He said that he believed the distance to Asia was about 750 leagues west of the Canary Islands. So he's trying to find a route. He thinks he can go west and come in on the backside of Asia, is what he said. Now, that's what we told he said. But, you know, as we go on, we'll pull out more scripture and, we'll let you be the judge. But that's what we're taught, that he was looking for a different route to Asia because the Muslims, the Turks, had cut off the land route. And it took too long to sail around. So we'll just go in the back door, is what we're taught. We'll just sail west, come in on the backside. But when he did, he ran right into the Americas, right into the 10 tribes that had left hundreds of years earlier and were living in peace in the Americas. These are the people. These are your lost 10 tribes. But if you don't have the Apocrypha, if you don't have this old Bible with the extra books in it, you'll never figure it out. You'll never know. And there's a lot of other things that you'll never know. Now you understand why these books were taken out? There's a more sinister plot going on that's detailed in these books that we're going to get to. So y'all just hang out with me. Subscribe to the page so you don't miss this information that's coming out during this 2-day awakening. Hosea 6:2 is real. The whole Bible is real. We're going to bring it out with understanding. And all that get an understanding. And we're going to do that. There's no need in reading the Bible if you don't understand what's going on. I just thank the Most High that He's blessed me with the understanding to share it with others. People who are willing to keep God's commandments, even though it's not popular, even though it's preached against. Those are the people who the Most High wants to reach. Those who will worship Him in spirit and in truth, as it is written. Now, there's one more thing I want to show you, now that you know who these people are. This thing that's been in the news, this caravan of migrants that's coming from Honduras through Mexico to United States border. This ain't the first time it's happened, where the Israelites were leaving a land and got to Edom. Who is Edom? Edom is your Caucasian race today. And they asked Edom, can we go through your land? We won't drink your water. We won't eat your food. We'll stay straight on the King's Highway, and we'll just pass through. We won't even water our flock. Now, let's get that in Numbers 20. Let's get there. Numbers 20, verse 14. And Moses sent messengers to Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus saith thy brother Israel, thou knowest all the travail that hath befallen us, how our fathers went down into Egypt, and we dwelt in Egypt a long time. And the Egyptians vexed us and our fathers. And when we cried unto the Lord, He heard our voice, and sent an angel, and hath brought us forth out of Egypt. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the uttermost of thy border. Let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. We will not pass through the fields or thy vineyards, neither will drink of the water of the well. We will go by the King's highway. We will not turn to the right hand nor to the left, until we have passed thy borders. And Edom said unto him, Thou shalt not pass by me, lest I come out against thee with the sword. And the children of Israel said unto him, We will go by the highway, and if I and my cattle drink of thy water, then I will pay for it. I will only, without doing anything else, go through on my feet. And he, being Edom, and Edom said, Thou shalt not go through. And Edom came out against him with much people and with a strong hand. Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border. Wherefore Israel turned away from him. Remember what Solomon said, Ecclesiastes 1:9. Nothing new under the sun. What has been will be again. It's the same thing. And I've looked on the internet and I've researched this, and nobody is recognizing that we're here again on the circle. We're here where the Israelites are looking to pass through or come to the land of Edom, and Edom is refusing passage. Matter of fact, he's coming out with a strong arm, just like the king of Edom did in Numbers chapter 20. We're going to the border. We're armed. but we don't recognize it because we're not reading the Bible. The Bible says watch as well as pray. You don't know what to watch for if you don't pick up the book. And another thing, you can pick up the book all day. But I'm gonna leave you with this. You can read this Bible all you want and not get the understanding that you're supposed to get because you're not keeping the commandments. Let me prove it to you. John 14:21. He that hath my commandments and keep them, he it is that loveth me. And he that loveth me shall be loved by my Father, and I will love him and will manifest myself to him. He'll manifest himself to you. But there's a condition. Keep my commandment. And that includes the fourth one, the Sabbath commandment. He never authorized any Sunday worship. Those of you who know me, you know I'm not supposed to know this information as well as I know it. I do my best to keep the commandments. I don't willfully go out and break them. Michael and I were having a conversation yesterday. And he was talking to some people and he let them know that, look, I'm not bound by the things of this world anymore. I'm not afraid of losing relationship, job, being talked about. I don't care about that. What I care about is doing what he said do, and that's keeping his commandments. I don't have to go to church on Sunday to fit in, is what he was telling them. I don't have to act a certain way to try to keep a job. And see, when you get to that point, you've crossed over into the other side where your desire is to please him at all costs. And that's where you got to be to get this understanding. And then he'll manifest himself to you. John 14:21. I'm going to leave it right there. And when we get back, I don't know. I have these lessons planned out in my head, what I'm going to do next. But sometimes I can sit down and it just didn't flow, you know. So when I get to that point, I just have to say, Lord, you do it. Whatever you want me to do. And these are the lessons that he's giving me at this moment right now. So I can't say what the next one will be. I have no idea. But it will be one. Until next time. Peace.